talk about that clientele and how do you do it. I mean, not everybody has as big a mouth as I do, and sometimes they're a little more, lay back in terms of how they make that initial approach after 10 years. What do you say? That's what I heard you say. And I think that if you're reluctant just to make a simple phone call, hey, it's been a long time. I just wanted to renew the friendship. That's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be fancy. If you get a little more inventive, then you can create a new updated packet about yourself with current photography and do a direct mail piece to them with a note and follow up with phone call.
A handwritten note?
Yeah, absolutely handwritten.
Absolutely. We have time for another question before I give the panelists a chance to wrap it up. Yes, please, sir.
You mentioned about the back end. How do we go about investigating those people besides Dun & Bradstreet, or is there anybody else?
Good question. How do you investigate and really find out if the firms you're going to do business with are?
Well, of course, unfortunately, things are changing so rapidly that your local resources like Better Business and the Chamber normally are a quick reference. Also, I would get from those vendors a client referral list if you don't already have it, and keep it close to your vest, and don't be embarrassed to call back. That's about the best you can do, but the recommendation of 2 years ago may not be valid today, so you need to keep that updated.
Very sound advice. Anybody else want to comment on that? Okay, before we go, this could be the best part. These are the departing shots. Sims, any final words you want to share with the audience? Oh, and we'll take. Shout it out.
You're all in, well, you're not all, but most of you are interior designers, and I submit that you're all marketers and you're all in sales, and never forget that, because you're not just an interior designer. You have clients that you are selling yourself to, and you're selling merchandise to them. And once you get over that hurdle, because nobody wants, if you're an interior designer, you're not necessarily thinking of yourself as a salesperson, but you are. That's important stuff to remember.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Mark?
For me, I think this is an incredibly exciting time. It's an opportunity where a lot of my competition is falling to the wayside, and so this is your chance to really sort of establish yourself in the market, so that when the market does ultimately turn, your percentage or position in the marketplace is going to be even hugely magnified from where it was before the downturn. So find out who and identify who your ideal client is, and hunt them down and be relentless. Hunt them like a wounded animal. You'll find them.
Well, we don't really go that far. I think it's about thinking differently. We're a traditional retailer, been around a long time, and we're really trying to think differently. It's not about selling products to people. It's about getting inside their head and understanding what's important to them. And that's, it reiterates what you two said, but I think it's just really focusing on what does my customer want. Think differently about your model. You may not charge by the hour anymore. You might do more markup on product. Figure out what works for your client and tailor it to them as opposed to how you're used to working, and be positive. I mean, that's such a big part of this. It's so hard when you're in a small business, and I've been there, and you just get down and you don't want to network, you don't want to do this stuff. Stay positive and network and be positioned, because it will come back, and you want to be right there, the first person that people call when they are willing to spend the money. But they're going to spend money. They're just going to do it, as Lloyd said, in different ways. So be flexible and think differently, and you'll be able to get their dollars, I think.
Well, I think all of you absolutely nailed it. I think take this time as an opportunity to readjust, to get focused. And for some of you who may have slowed down a little bit, what a time to, it's like, oh my gosh, I can finally get a massage. Well, this is a time to massage your business and hone your business skills and your public image, and really get focused on your business and get yourself positioned for the future, because the future is there. I mean, the future, the sun will come up tomorrow. It's going to shine, and you should be ready for it. So.
And before we give them a round of applause, let me give my final departing shot on this, just because this has certainly affected my firm a great deal too. I probably did what seems counterintuitive in a recession. I opened a third office, and I figured that in order to serve my clients that I needed to expand our reach, realizing that people were spending less money, I wanted to broaden the horizons, and we actually went international. We opened an office in London, so now I have an office in New York, London, and Los Angeles, and as a way to capture as much as possible. And it's been a struggle, and believe me, I have my sleepless nights too. And what I've done now differently than I did last year is I've actually hired somebody. This is really to your question, do you do it all yourself? I do it myself. You know, Cameron Cook is one of my account managers in New York. She does it. We all do it, you know, to Mark's things. And I actually have hired somebody part-time. Actually, I have 2 part-time people who only do business development. They are sending out business development letters. They're arranging meetings for me. Things you think I'd be doing as a marketing firm, but we were getting our business other ways. I've now have people just dedicated to that task to make it rain. And even with that, and then I follow up and jump in once they've opened the door, and we're sending in, and I'm getting the lists from my friends in publishing, and you name it, I'm identifying the firms. And this is something I never had to do before because I got all my clients from doing what I'm doing now, speaking. So even me, the marketer, has had to revamp in what I'm doing and approaching, and it's fundamentally changed my business. So with that, once again, you know, as Jena said, it's going to shine tomorrow. Maybe not, it may rain here, who knows, but you know, eventually the sun's going to come out. So I think you're all going to do well, and just smile and go about your business. That's what I'd say. Please, thanks to our panelists.